So, which college or university did you attend for your undergraduate degree?
I went to UNCG, or the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, and I double majored in social work and women's and gender studies, and I graduated in 2008.
So, what drew you to choosing a major in women's and gender studies?
I don't know if this is cliche or not. This is my story. There's like an open house where you get to like meet all the different academic departments. I happened to be crossing over the area where all the tents were, and I saw the table, and I was like, "What's this?" I'd already declared social work as a major, and it looked really interesting. I learned that you could talk about feminism. Like you could actually study that and major in it, and they said it was possible to do that with another major like social work. So I just did it.
So, how do you feel that having this major has influenced your career choices?
Oh man. In a lot of ways, I think primarily just looking at, so right now I practice as a social worker and a therapist, but it taught me like what a feminist lens is, what that even means, different types of feminism, different types of feminist approaches to my work. So I feel like it's just given me options to work with all kinds of people, and really help me use like my critical thinking skills on how the work I'm doing might be impacting other folks. So it just makes me think a lot more than I did before.
So, where are you currently employed?
So currently, I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina. I work for myself, self-employed. I have a private therapy practice.
I know there might not be a typical day in
Yeah,
your line of work, but what are your general responsibilities in that role?
sure. So primarily, I provide one-on-one counseling therapy to adults. My typical day, now that I'm working from home, I talk with clients, I talk with potential clients, maybe insurance companies. I might consult with other professionals, either if it's for business concerns or other therapists in the area if we want to consult on our cases. So I talk to a lot of people most of my days.
What path did you take to get to this job between graduating with your degree and where you live now?
Very long one. So when I was studying in my program, I had a couple of different internships. One at the Women's Center of Greensboro, and I thought, okay, maybe counseling is what I want to go into. But I loved working with organizations, so I thought maybe I want to work for nonprofits.
Mm.
So I went into nonprofit management for a while, and then I worked in some youth programs, and then I decided on grad school, and then I went to grad school for social work, and then literally fell into community health. So I worked at a lot of health centers. I managed like a bunch of patient services programs. I got to work with refugee patients, patients with chronic illnesses like diabetes. So I did a lot of health education work. And then I wanted something different from that. And then I worked in a hospital for a couple of years. And then after working in a hospital, as a hospital social worker and therapist, I decided that I wanted to just do more work on my own and focus solely on direct care. And so, yeah, so that's a very short story, but my path was pretty long. I just tried things and saw what worked and what didn't, and then made a decision from there.
So, what would you say is your most proud accomplishment in your career?
Ooh. Well, I have a lot of them. I could use my most recent one, having like working for myself, having my own business. That's not something I ever thought that I would do. It's not something that interested me for a very long time. So I am, yeah, really pretty proud of that, right? I could say that I am a businesswoman. I could say that I'm a solo practitioner. So I do feel really proud of that because it took a lot of work to get to here.
What do you think that 22-year-old you would think about where you are in life today?
I mean, I think that she would be pretty blown away. Um, um, yeah, she'd be pretty blown away. like I said, it was a very, very long path. I didn't even want to go to college when I was in high school. I went like to college, didn't love it, and then I went to community college. And when I finally figured out a major, then I went to UNCG. So it's a lot of like I felt like catching up to do. So I think the 22-year-old me would be really, really proud. And she'd be like, wow, I can't believe you did that. Go you. Yeah.
How do you feel that having a major in women and gender studies has benefited you in the workforce, but also in your personal life as a whole?
Sure. So in the workforce, I definitely think, again, just having that lens, it helped me to notice things like, oh, what's the term? I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but just like different practices. I think it made me a really good advocate for either myself or other minorities at work. So that could be, women, that could be queer folks, that could be other people of color. Knowing how to research like what my rights are, advocating in case I thought that like policy should be changed. It was just like the perfect pairing, I think, with social work because I could talk about different injustices, um, in a really, I think, in a really powerful and impactful way. And the same in my personal life, I think it gave me a lot of language, really approachable language, even, especially talking about identity, being able to say that I identify as like a queer Black woman, those are things that maybe folks don't always just like think about. I think we take for granted that this is who I am, it's who I've always been. And maybe for some people that's the case, but I think for a lot of others, it isn't. And so being able to really do a lot of like self-reflection and identity work has been so helpful. And I definitely got that from my like WGS like journey. Absolutely.
Just one last question. Is
Oh,
there any other advice that you would have for undergraduate students like me who are currently minoring in women and gender studies or those who are considering it?
um, yeah, if you're considering it, I would say go with it. I don't think other than maybe like loans more money, I don't think that you would like there's nothing to lose by majoring or minoring in something else. It just makes you more, well-rounded. So I think if you had to weigh the cost, the benefits always going to outweigh, anything else. So I would say if you're considering it, like go with it. You can always drop, you can always change. If you decide I got nothing from that, you're still learning something. There's still information. And you probably won't feel that way. So I think you should go with it. Yeah.